Sokoto State is not only the seat of the revered caliphate, it is also the home of the only Second Republic President of Nigeria, Alhaji Shehu Shagari. Being a border state, it is prone to both internal and external human trafficking. My name is Emmanuel Okeke and you are watching NAPTIP on the Move. Thank you for joining us. Our focus is on the efforts of the Sokoto State Zonal Command in the fight against human trafficking within the northwestern region of Nigeria. It promises to be very enlightening.
The seat of the Caliphate plays host to the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP. Established in 2006, the Sokoto State Zonal Command of NAPTIP replicates the model of the headquarters and covers other states.
Sokoto is a command, a zonal command that covers Sokoto, Zamfara, and Kebbi states in the northwest of Nigeria. By the provision of Section 13 of the Trafficking in Person Prohibition Enforcement Administration Act, all acts and forms of human trafficking are criminalized or prohibited. Therefore, the recruitment, transfer, transportation, harboring, or receipt of a person by either fraud, deception, abduction, coercion, abuse of power, or abuse of vulnerability of a victim constitute a trafficking offense under our law, provided it is done for the purpose of exploitation.
Being a border state and covering two other border states, Sokoto is a source, transit, and destination state when it comes to human trafficking.
Sokoto is a transit, is a source, and also a destination. A source in the sense that people from other parts of the country do come here and get cheap labor, or rather get children whom they employ as domestic worker or workers. So in that sense, it is a source. It is also a transit in the sense that those who come from other parts of the country, since they want to cross the border, they stay here temporarily for some time before proceeding to the border. It is also a destination in the sense that people from other countries like Niger, like Togo, even Burkina Faso, they do come here and engage in forced labor, or they get employed, particularly those underage girls or boys, they get employed as domestic workers or domestic servants.
The Zonal Commander, Barrister Hassan Hamisu Tahir, shed light on the type of human trafficking cases prevalent in the region.
We know that human trafficking is not restricted to importation and exportation of persons for the purpose of prostitution and other forms of sexual exploitation. It includes, but not limited to, procurement of person for pornographic purpose, even procurement of person for use in armed conflict, even buying and selling, and removal of organs. They are also part of trafficking. But here in Sokoto, What is rampant here is procurement of person for the purpose of sexual exploitation, which is contrary to Section 15 of our Act. Also, procurement or recruitment of person for the purpose of prostitution or other forms of sexual exploitation, which is contrary to Section 16 of our Act. Also, the case of forced labor, which is contrary to Section 22 of our Act, is also rampant, as well as employment of a child as a domestic worker or domestic servant. There were many occasions when a truckload of these Almajiris who are underage have been intercepted by security agents. And as soon as they were intercepted, they were brought to us. First of all, we keep them, detain the malam, because at times you will see one malam or one teacher carrying more than 100 of them. He cannot even mention their names. So when we detain him, we commence investigation. We contact their local government chairman. We also contact their state assembly member. We contact the community leader, who is a traditional leader. We contact them. We ask them to come before we release the Almajiris or the boys to them. These cases are very rampant in this zone, and we are doing our best to ensure that if it is not completely eliminated, at least it will be brought to the lowest level.
Public enlightenment and effective collaboration is one of the key strategies in the prevention and tackling of human trafficking cases.
They said prevention is better than cure. How do you prevent human trafficking? Well, we do embark on serious and aggressive sensitization campaign. We do go to the markets, we do go to the motor parks, we do visit some notable people like the Imam. We jointly had a kind of walk with the Catholic Church, and we have been visiting the community leaders just to sensitize them about the ills of human trafficking. At times, it is as a result of these messages that we receive complaint. So this is really helping us a lot. The other strategy is a partnership. We do partner and collaborate and cooperate with relevant security agencies, the custom, the police, the NDLEA, the SSS, the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force, and Civil Defense. As for the NGOs, we have one notable NGO in Sokoto, that is Save the Child Initiative. And we also have this forum of NGOs where we meet, share experience, and talk about human trafficking in general and what have you. This really is assisting us towards fighting human trafficking.
The Sokoto State Zonal Command also provides shelter services to rescued victims of trafficking.
This shelter was opened in 2006. Since then, we've had 1,324 victims. 416 victims were male, while 908 victims were female. And most of these victims are either victims of human trafficking, child abuse, child labor, and other related cases. We counsel them at the shelter. We give them medical care. We also give them vocational training and life skill training. Then we also empower them and reunite them with their families. While on the reunification, we also counsel the family.
A beneficiary of the NAPTIP scheme, Abubakar Namaka, was amongst other young boys being trafficked to Niger Republic when he was 14 years old. The lorry was apprehended by security operatives who handed the boys over to NAPTIP, where he was sheltered, counseled and empowered in June 2015.
NAPTIP mun same su ne mun je Niger, muka samu NAPTIP sai suka zo da mu nan Sokoto, sai suka tura mu Abuja, sai aka ba mu kuɗi an ka ce mu je mu yi sana'a. To alhamdulillah gaskiya mun yi sana'a ga ta nan ta ci gaba sosai. Gaskiya yanzu komai ya samu lafiya lau insha Allah. An samu fridge babba an saye. Sun ba mu kuɗi dai 120,000 sun ba mu fridge. Mun to mun fara sana'a yanzu komai ya ci gaba har mashin ma an samu da sauran kayayyaki dai duk ga sunan komai ya samu insha Allah. Gaskiya na gode sosai. Allah ya saka musu alkhairi. Allah shi biya su. Na gode sosai.
NAPTIP gave him the capital that he started his business. I think he was only given one deep freezer. Now he has two. And he was able to get a bigger container and another small shop. And he even bought a machine. So we have gone far as far as helping and empowering victims of human trafficking is concerned.
The success story of Abubakar Namaka and the number of convictions secured since its inception is a testament to the hard work of the Zonal Command.
The number of convictions the zones has since its inception in 2006, we have 63 convictions. Even though we take cases to court, I would like to state that we don't take much pride in the number of cases we investigated, or even the number of cases we filed in court, or even the number of convictions we secured, but rather we take much pride in the number of people we are able to sensitize, to educate, you understand, to enlighten about the ills of human trafficking. As the saying goes, prevention is better than cure. So we are always proactive in all our activities, always proactive. We also take much pride in the number of victims, that is, victims being the central of the law that established NAPTIP. We take much pride in the number of victims we are able to rescue, the number of victims we are able to empower, the number of victims we are able to train, the number of victims we are able to reunite with their families. That is where our pride lies most.
Adequate coverage of the 3 states by the command comes with some challenges.
And no matter the level of one's commitment, no matter the levels of one's passion for the job, no matter the level of one's zeal for the job, if you don't have the funds, you cannot be able to execute your mandate. That's number one. The second challenge is non-cooperation or uncooperative attitude of victims and their relatives to come and testify. Is also a big challenge. And thirdly, we cover 3 states, Sokoto, Zamfara, and Kebbi states. And they are far apart. Because whenever we have case in Zamfara or Kebbi, if they call us, we have to go there. So if you don't have the wherewithal in terms of logistic, in terms of funds, you will find it difficult to even go. But thank God, the present DG now has graciously approved a brand new operational vehicle which we are using. So this has really go a long way in easing some of our problems. And we thank her for that, and we thank God as well.
The zonal commander also spoke on the need to domesticate the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act.
The application of BAP is only limited to the federal capital, that is Abuja. But here, at zonal level, we are trying to make contact with the various NGOs and members of the State House of Assembly to see if they can key in, if they can domesticate such a law, because it is a very good law. Most of the cases we have here also pertains to Violence Against Persons Act. So if we can get it domesticated here, the zone can really benefit.
He then shared some stories and advised parents to be more responsible.
A victim for sexual exploitation, her case was brought. We conducted investigation. After investigation, we filed the case in court. We secured conviction. After the conviction, we reunited the victim with her family. After a year, or less than a year, the same victim, due to the negligence of the parents, I can say, somebody saw her and exploited her sexually. The same victim. The case was brought to us, conducted investigation, arraigned the person, and secured conviction. We took the same victim to her parents with a strong warning. They still allowed her again for the third time. The case was brought. The man was taken to court and jail. It is the fault of the parents. My advice to them is they should be fully responsible for their kids. Charity begins at home. They should instill discipline. They should educate their children. They should not allow their children to misbehave or to do whatever they want under the guise of poverty. It's just as a result of the irresponsibility of the parents, negligence of the parents, and what have you. They should take care of their children.
Despite the daunting challenges, the Sokoto State Zonal Command is forging ahead in the fight against human trafficking.
Human trafficking is one of the worst crimes on earth. It is a grave violation of your human rights. The victims of human trafficking are majorly women, youths, children, and men who may never live to tell the story. These victims could be your wife, daughter, mother, sister, brother, child, or relative. No one deserves to be trafficked. NAPTIP has intensified its effort against this heinous crime. But we need your support. We need you to join this fight. Government officials, corporate organizations, traditional rulers, religious leaders, and the organized private sector have enlisted in this fight. What are you waiting for? Join NAPTIP to end this global moral epidemic now.
Report cases of human trafficking to these NAPTIP hotlines: 0703 00 203, 080 02 255 627847. NAPTIP, empowered to protect you.
The joy of monitoring and seeing an empowered survivor thrive trumps it all. Kudos to the leadership and staff of the Sokoto State Zonal Command for their tireless work. NAPTIP Events is next. Stay with us. The head of office, International Center for Migration Policy Development, ICMPD, Mojisola Shodeinde, visited the agency to meet with the Director General of NAPTIP. Speaking after the meeting, she shed more light on their deliberations.
Well, the meeting we just had with the Director General of NAPTIP is to provide feedback on the current projects that we have with NAPTIP, our partnership, on infusing TIP concepts in the Nigerian curriculum to sensitize the teachers and the children so that they can be adequately sensitized. We talked about the progress of that project. We also talked about next steps in terms of our partnership with the agency. Our relationship with NAPTIP has been one of the best relationships that ICMPD has with any organization in Nigeria because of the results that we've been able to achieve within a very short period of time. And I'm really very happy that we were able to come up with that.
With NAPTIP's partnership with ICPMD, human trafficking issues will soon be included in the school curricula. This will go a long way to stem the tide of human trafficking in Nigeria. A delegation from the Central Anti-Human Trafficking Unit of the Swedish Police recently visited the headquarters of the agency to understudy the operations of NAPTIP and make inquiries on investigative best practices. Receiving the team, the representative of the Director General, the Director Legal and Prosecution, Abdurrahim Opotu Shaibu, shared some solutions on issues of concern to the Swedish police. He also highlighted the need for a memorandum of understanding to guide a partnership between both parties. After the meeting, the Detective Inspector from the National Trafficking Unit of the Swedish Police Authority, Simon Hackström, shed more light on the purpose of their visit.
The meeting that we just had here at the NAPTIP HQ was very, very inspiring and also gave us a lot of well-needed knowledge for us. In Sweden, we have seen the last couple of years a rise in Nigerian trafficking, and we need the tools, we need the knowledge, and we need the contacts, of course, in order to investigate those cases better. And I think it's vital for us to have meetings like this to be able to cooperate when it comes to our trafficking cases. So this visit was extremely important to us.
The meeting with the delegation from the Swedish Police Authority was very successful, as both parties pledged to partner more closely to burst criminal human trafficking gangs in Sweden. A federal high court sitting in Damaturu, Yobe State, has sentenced 57-year-old Alhaji Ya'u Shaibu Salihu to 4 years imprisonment for human trafficking. The suspect, a native of Farantama village, Albasu local government area of Kano State, was arraigned by NAPTIP on a 2-count charge of procuring 9 underage victims with the intention of taking them to Sudan for possible exploitation, an act contrary to Section 26, Sub 2 of the Trafficking in Persons Prohibition Enforcement and Administration Act of 2015. The suspect was nabbed by officers of the Nigerian Immigration Service Yobe State Command Damaturu in 2017 while trying to cross the Gaidam-Niger border with 9 victims, and was transferred to NAPTIP for proper investigation and prosecution. Honorable Justice Hamad Isadashi found the suspect guilty and sentenced him to 2 years imprisonment on each count, making it a total of 4 years imprisonment without an option of fine. The agency commends the judiciary and the Nigerian Immigration Service for their cooperation.
This is to inform the general public that Perebi Nicole Otubo, a notorious human trafficker, is wanted by NAPTIP. Anyone with useful information on her whereabouts should contact the agency on this toll-free number 0703 0000 or 0800 225 5627 847. You can email info@naptip.gov.ng. NAPTIP, empowered to protect you.
Better to hear from a victim the gory realities in Nigeria today. Don't go away.
I'm 16 years old from Cross River State. I'm from a family, we are 5 in number. My dad died 2003 and I grew up not knowing who my father was. So 2012, my auntie came to our site, her mom died. So all of us we went to the mom's burial. So when she came, she now saw me, she now said that she's going to help and train me in school. So when she took me to Abuja, I stayed 1 year in her house before I started school. I started primary 6. Her husband started having sexual intercourse with me. I complained to my auntie, but she didn't do anything about it. She said I was trying to blackmail her husband's image. I told my neighbors, but what they could do, they were like, I should tell my auntie. 2015, I was in the room. It was around 1 p.m. in the night when my auntie husband came to my room with a knife and said that if I did not allow him to do what he wants to do, he's going to kill me and kill himself. I started pleading, asking him to leave me alone. His little son, he has twins, a boy and a girl. His little son even had my shout. He woke up, he shouted at the boy that he should go back to sleep. My uncle raped me that night and I managed to escape. I went to our church, the church member's house. I ran to her house. She took me in. I explained everything to her. The next day, she took me to my auntie's house. She was trying to explain to my auntie, but my auntie did not believe her, that she's going to hear from her husband first. It was after some days, our pastor now came to our church member now came to our house. I told me that some policemen will be coming to our house. That any question they asked me that I should answer them, and I said okay. When I saw the policemen, they came to our house. They now said that it's my uncle around, and I said yes. I now went inside, I called my uncle, he came out. They took us to the police station. It was from there I knew that I was pregnant. And I thought the whole world was on me and I don't have any future again. I cried heaven and earth. They arrested my uncle. He was still denying that he didn't do anything to me. Then they brought me to Ward Clef. I stayed in Wardcliff. They were taking very good care of me. I gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. Then, after some weeks, they now put me in school. I started from just 2 and now I'm in just 3. I would like to be a lawyer so that I'll help in stopping child trafficking and exploitation in Nigeria.
For more enquiries and support, or to report cases of suspected human trafficking and child abuse, please call NAPTIP hotlines on 0703 0000203 or 0800 2255 627847 or email info@naptip.gov.ng. Visit our website www.naptip.gov.ng. Follow us on our social media platforms at NAPTIP Nigeria and watch our videos on YouTube.
It's time to say goodbye, but not without urging you to be your brother's keeper by reporting suspected cases of human trafficking, child abuse, and all forms of violence against persons to NAPTIP. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you same time next week. I am Emmanuel Okeke. Goodbye.